All right, gamers, everyone keeps asking, Clyde, what's this Titan build? Why are you using it? You crushed Avalon.
I already told you this would be easier than Hypernet.
You literally said it'd be easier than Hypernet. Yeah.
We're unkillable in this build.
Yeah, you're literally unkillable. Well, I want to talk about it because I didn't think Consecration build could get even better because they nerfed it, right? Bungie said, hey, we're nerfing the damage. But now, with all the tools that we have with this current season and the artifact mods and the builds, it got even better. I mean, you literally can't die on this build. It destroys it. And I do want to give a quick shout out to Special Hero. I watched his solo video of him soloing Avalon, so I just copied the build. But I just want to get it out there to show people that, hey, if you can run this build and you can destroy Avalon too and also play the game with this build. So make sure you guys go give him a sub. Shout out to Special Hero. Now, before we go over the build, I want to let you guys know about a huge deal going on right now. GsxrClyde has all free shipping worldwide. Any order over 50 bucks, you use code Clyde at checkout. I recommend trying the good flavor or the queso flavor. Those are my two that I'm drinking right now, besides Clyde's Black Cherry, which will be restocked in just a few weeks. I'll keep you guys posted, but right now, take advantage of this deal. I mean, you end up paying 35 cents a serving. That's like $1 for every drink because you use about 3 scoops in a 24-ounce jug. So I mean, hey, you're spending $5 on an energy drink when you could spend $1. So head on over to GsxrClyde.gg, check out some merch, check out some shirts, get some energy, use code Clyde at checkout. Anyways, let's talk about the Prismatic setup. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using the stasis super because you're going to be taking advantage of being able to freeze these wyverns and push them off in Avalon is just amazing. And you could use this throughout the game. And plus, frost armor, it's very important to have for DR. You're definitely going to use frenzied blade with consecration and knockout. Protection never comes off any prismatic build because it's free DR. You're using purpose. So every time you pick up an orb, you get frost armor. And then blessing, we're going to stack with knockout because this is what saves you from dying. For some reason, there was a weird interaction with blessing not really working with knockout, or it was knockout not working with blessing, and it seems like this update recently with Edge of Fate or Ash and Iron, it makes it so that it heals you now. But sometimes I do use consecration and slam the ground. I feel like there's a little delay. You'd be like, damn, I just got finessed by knockout. But overall, it's really good. Courage is important because you're going to be throwing in that glacier nade, and pretty much once you throw a glacier nade at a big group of enemies and you consecrate the ground, you're going to have your transcendence up 100% of the time. It's free, and if not, you can just spam melees to get it up because one nade is going to fill up your darkness energy, and then a few punches, you're good to go for your light energy. The main focus with this build is you are going to try and get 200 melee, 100 grenade, 100 super. That's it. Those are your 3 main stats. You don't need class or anything because you're using the exotic pulse rifle. I want to make this clear that you need to use this weapon with this build because it only takes about 6 shots of you shooting enemies that are tanky to get your super. And the reason why it's so important is when you use your consecrations and you use your transcendence, you run out of melees when you come out because you're not really running that inmost light build. So you might be like, Clyde, I don't get my thruster a lot. I don't get my abilities a lot. Well, this is the gameplay loop. So this is very important. So when you start off, throw the nade, consecrate, get your transcendence. When you go into your transcendence, consecrate everything, use your abilities, boom. When you come out, if you don't have your super, shoot a few shots of the pulse rifle, get your super, pop the super, damage bosses with it, damage wyverns with it, damage whatever with it. And then when you come out of your super, you're going to have 3 consecrations because it refreshes your melees. Then rinse and repeat. Get your transcendence up with those 3 consecrations, pop your transcendence, pop your super. You kind of get where this is going. Going over the mods, if you're wondering, you can use 2 brawler and 3 Paragon to get the stats you need, but currently right now I don't have the right gear for it, so I'm still trying to get the perfect setup, but 180 will do just fine. I do want to point out that you are going to want 2-piece smoke jumper with this simply because you're making so many orbs with this build with every single punch that it gives you 45% DR with the first second. On the second of smoke jumper, it's 30%, and the final second it's 15. But if you're making an orb like every other second, you're always going to have smoke. I feel like smoke jumper should be on every single build that you use. If you're looking for another 2-piece, I would recommend using ion adapter because when you get kills with rocket pulse rifles or micro mini missiles, you take less damage from them. If enemies like push you, if you shoot them with it in the face, you take less damage from that pulse rifle because I've died a couple times using that thing. Going over the mods again, if you can use a minor mod here and fit 3 special ammo finders, that would be really good because then you're never going to run out of special and you could spam it, which means more super. It's very important that you run triple heavy handed because if you only run one, you get an orb every 10 seconds. If you run heavy-handed times 2, you get an orb every 5 seconds. But with 3 on, you make an orb every second. So pretty much every punch, you're proccing frost armor, you're proccing smoke jumper, you can't die. I did run solar resist, void resist for Avalon, and I chose sniper damage resist simply because one thing. We actually beat this on our 3rd try, but I died to this Hobgoblet's champion. So in this room, I would recommend not dealing with that champion and staying below. Just clear the ads so that your shooter can shoot the symbols, and then you kind of move on. But dealing with that champion, I felt like every time I went to go kill him or kill the other snipers on the other side, he just kept messing with me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna dodge him. But in the boss room, boss snipes you, other enemies snipe you, so I felt like sniper damage resist was good. Double recuperation is really good for this build because every time you pick up an orb, you get 75 HP. So again, it just goes into that factor. You can't die. You strand scavenger because of your pulse rifle. That's how you get your super. Proximity ward gives you an overshield every time you hit a finisher. Special finisher to keep that ammo popped up, and powerful attraction to pick up your orb. I can show you guys what gear I have on right now just to show you how to get these stats, and you guys can min-max. And if you're wondering why I have sidearm on, it's because pretty much you need to run something to break the shields in Avalon because it's 600 enemies and you're 550. I just run a sidearm because it's easy to break the shields, get them weak, and melee them, because I don't want to kill them with the sidearm. I want to get them weak so I can melee them to make the orb or hit a finisher. And you know, I was cycling between Burning Ambition to put Scorch or Incandescent, but also it's a free way for me to heal. So you don't need to use this exact sidearm, but I would recommend running double special because the enemies are tanky. We use sword for movement. You can choose whatever heavy you want, but it is avant-garde. Going into the artifact, last thing here, obviously nothing really stands out, but you do want to run Threadling with energy acceleration so that you could stun unstops with your build and any other activity. I think refresh threads is really good for the build. I did just recently put frost renewal on because I always have frost armor, and if you take critical damage, it freezes enemies. But you can take this off and go to elemental days when you stun a champion, or you can come down here to get elemental coalescence, or shoulder to shoulder if you're playing with your teammates. So like these 4, you can just cycle this one out. But you definitely want fever and chill. If you're running like a submachine gun, you get free radiant, and then cauterized darkness is always going to be procced because you're always stasis debuffing non-boss combatants, and the solar slam will do more damage. And then shield crush, again, always a must because you always have frost armor, and your melees will recharge faster and deal increased damage. And then you got radiant sharpnel again if you're using like an SMG, just to get for that free scorch damage. So that's about it. Just wanted to go over the whole build with you. Hopefully that makes you understand why you're running the stuff. Definitely should try this out. It's definitely one of the most broken builds for consecration that I've used. I just feel like you're just godlike, you know? So when you're doing Avalon, like I said, just make sure you're taking your times in the first couple rooms. When you do get to the Hydra room, it's definitely important to pay attention to the timing, pick up the motes and dunk them, and then as soon as the bottom opens, you kind of don't want to run in there. You can always shoot the wyvern with the pulse rifle and suspend them, you know, throw some super in there like what we were doing. We jump in the hole and just activate a super and put ice shards all around so that your teammates didn't get killed by the wyverns. And then, you know, pretty much basically when you're in the final boss room, as you see here, I kind of just stayed tucked under here, slayed all the ads, and we had one teammate shooting the symbols. And then once you get to that final end room, you just nuke the boss, call it a day. But there's never a worry. You're always suspending targets. You're always, you know, using the pulse rifle. I would definitely recommend having the catalyst for this. It's really busted. But yeah, I mean, when I didn't have consecration slams, I would just shoot the boss real quick 4, 5, 6 times, get my super, use my super, come out, and just it was free. But I've tested this build and other activities. It's a lot of fun. Thanks for watching this video. I know I haven't made a build guide in a while, but people keep asking me, Clyde, what are you using on your Titan recently? I might upload some more videos soon of other characters and other builds that I'm using, you know, to show you guys all these loadouts that I use for, you know, the raid, like the Thunder Crash and the Peacekeeper build. Little by little, we'll see how this video does. But I appreciate you guys sounding off in the comments, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.